And here we go. Welcome back to the GSAC tournament. This is the second map of this great series between Bemusicality spawning in the bottom left and DDRChamp spawning in the upper right. So last game we saw Bemusicalities have a little bit better macro as far as making SUVs go, which obviously then makes his production better in the long run. And he also just took way better engagements. First of all, getting great siege tank positioning on that natural base of DDRChamp. And then, even though things weren't looking too good for DDRChamp, when he ran his forces into those sieged up siege tanks, it was all over. So, yeah, number one rule of TVT, don't run your units into siege tanks. That's like suicidal. We see DDRChamp, he might be looking for a command center first here. Unfortunately, he's not doing this correctly. And I don't even is that placed correctly? It looks a little bit too far this way, doesn't it? I don't know if that's great. But actually, the correct way to do a CC first is on 14 supply, which means you can take a supply depot first, build a couple more SCVs, and then you put down the second command center. And the reason for that is, well, he's supply blocked right now. He's building that supply depot, but he could be producing units at this point. And also, when you do CC first, your production and stuff is really kind of limited at the beginning, so you don't want to do it until you have a little bit better of an economy behind it, just to kind of work your way through this stage of right now not producing anything, kind of, because I mean he's making SUVs still, but this is very dangerous, especially with Bemusicality going for a Reaper here. And I love the Reaper, and it will scout probably second, but if he was a little bit earlier with that Reaper, a little bit more lucky too, he could even pick off this SUV building the barracks, and then it would have been GG basically. It depends. I mean, obviously Bemusicality did not know that DDRChamp was going CC first, but it might be wise if even if you're doing Reaper first, just to send out that SUV scout. And it is an SUV scout, but it's gonna go the long way. So he'll find this base by DDRChamp. And is DDRChamp gonna do another command center here? He's thinking about it. What's he gonna do? Like, this SUV is like very curious, even though he's flexing. I'm really curious to see if he puts down a third CC. I mean, that would be pretty insane. Before any sort of tech, before any sort of upgrades. But no, right now he's just getting his orbitals up. It's going gas, so I think it's just getting ready to, but it's not going to for a little bit yet. And we'll see how this Reaper does. I feel like this Reaper can do a lot of damage, because right now DDRChamp, he's only got one Marine, and he's currently not producing second one. And if microed correctly, a Reaper wins the fight versus a Marine. So we'll see how this goes. I always hate, just like, even just seeing like one Reaper, it just takes your mind away from, what you're doing here, and can be really annoying if it gets an SCV kill or two. And even now, this shouldn't happen. This one Marine should take down this. Basically, if you're up against a Reaper like this, whoever he's targeting fire, you just move that guy, and then you leave all the other people working. I don't know what this Marine's doing. Is he gonna get it? No. The Reaper gets out. That's so annoying for DDRChamp. I mean, he's, behind this, he doesn't have any sort of production other than one barracks, but as you can see, Bemusicality has a barracks and a factory already. Can't see that. Going for a reactor here. So could look to do some sort of widow mine trap, and I think that would be very cool to see. Now so DDRChamp must have accumulated a lot of minerals when that battle was going on, that micro battle, and as a result has 5 barracks queued up. So I think that's more of a mistake than he's making 5 barracks on purpose to go for this like 6 racks timing. I doubt that's the case. In TVT, these kind of like 3 racks doesn't normally work, because a siege tank can beat plain out Marines, especially if they're unupgraded and don't have medevac support. TVT is a lot more about getting those Oh, this is actually a really good idea. But it's a lot more about getting the siege tanks up. So I really like this, the SUV's denying the barracks. Yeah, now the barracks is coming over here. I really like all these, factory kind of movements by Bemusicality. That's showing some very, in-depth thought on his build. But yeah, but I'm curious to see how DDRChamp plans to fix his mistakes from last time. Because at the moment he's getting a lot of barracks and he's going to pump out a lot of Marines. But Marines by themselves are not going to beat a siege up position. And I think DDRChamp's problem is a lot more about taking correct engagements than it is just, you know, getting a higher army count up. So, I mean, if he still decides to run into a siege position, I think Bemusicality has this easy. But obviously, you know, plus the Reaper is going to get the full scout of this. So we'll see what DDRChamp does. Obviously, if he catches the siege tanks on siege or something like that, then I think producing off all these barracks will just hands down, you know, win him the game. But we'll see what happens. Already a drop coming across now. Does it have? It has a siege tank in it, so that's kind of interesting. I mean, that's. I guess Bemusicality, he kind of needs to get rid of this third base. You do not want to just let your opponent have a third base unless you just take one at the same time. And over here. But I think this is a little bit dangerous. It could work, but I think it's, you know, dropping is a lot more efficient when the opponent's army is a lot more spread out. So maybe they're like coming towards your base on the map. But he's going to hit when all these units are going to the third base, and he might hit the natural here, and that's very good right now for Bemusicality. He's got to go now, though, before these units come back. I'm not quite sure what these units are doing way out here. They should be in the middle of all the bases so that they can defend. But let's just see what Bemusicality decides to do with this. Here he goes. Is he going to drop? Yeah, he is going to drop here. And yeah, this is so annoying. Especially for DDRChamp, who hasn't been macroing the best. Already, siege tank is sieged up. He's going to have to stem down and target fire that siege tank, and he will do. So, at the end of the day, it's not a big, you know, army supply loss or anything like that for DDRChamp, but it is a SUV loss, plus it is a stim, which, in a game where there's no factory even yet on the field, that is a big hurt. You know, probably even more than the SUV kills that he got. Doesn't have 3 bases going, and he doesn't have them hotkeyed, so that's a little bit frightening as well. He also does not have all of his barracks hotkeyed, so those are a couple of mistakes right now from DDRChamp just coming out. He does have 7 barracks, only 5 hotkeyed. He just now got the 3rd base hotkeyed and he's putting down factory. But yeah, I think this is Bemusicality actually going for double command center here. So if he wants to do that, he's definitely got to move these siege tanks forward to, you know, this position. Because now these army units are just going to come in, snipe this one, and then get out. But this is very dangerous for DDRChamp. Although if he hits, but one of these siege tanks are on siege, it might turn out kind of well for him. We'll see. Here comes the engagement. And they were on the move command. Oh, and yeah, now it's over. Yep, you can't. Yeah, I don't even think that DDRChamp could have, you know, done anything moving out like that. I think he really should have waited till he had some medevac support, since all of his units were already at like 70 health compared to the normal 100, and then plus being on the move command just really hurt him in that game. So Bemusicality is now 2-0 in the series, and we'll see if he can take the 3-0 in the next map.